We are standing at the precipice of destiny, Rams Nation. The atmosphere in Los Angeles has shifted from uncertainty to absolute unadulterated electricity. The clouds have parted, the thunder has rolled, and the gods of football have smiled upon the City of Angels at the exact moment we needed it most. We are talking about a return so significant, so monumental, that it fundamentally alters the physics of our defensive scheme heading into the wildcard round. They thought we were vulnerable? They thought the middle of our field was open season? Think again. The Los Angeles Rams have officially activated the heartbeat of their secondary, the captain, the $42 million man, Quentin Lake, from injured reserve. This is not just a roster move. This is a declaration of war against every offense that dares to cross our path in the postseason. The timing could not be more poetic, more legendary, as we prepare to march into battle against the Carolina Panthers. This is the news we have been starving for, the reinforcement that turns a good defense into a championship-caliber legion. Before we continue, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching this news from? Let's dive deep into the magnitude of this return, because if you look at the raw numbers, the visceral reality of the Rams' defense without Quentin Lake has been nothing short of a nightmare. We are talking about a statistical drop-off that would make a grown man weep. The data confirms what our eyes have seen. The Rams' defense was statistically bottom 3 in all major metrics during Lake's 7-game absence. Bottom 3. That is the abyss. That is the dark zone where seasons go to die. But now, the light returns. Lake isn't just a safety. He is the quintessential star in this modern NFL defense, a hybrid weapon capable of erasing slot receivers, fitting the run like a linebacker, and patrolling the deep half like a hawk. His absence created a void that no amount of schematic wizardry could fill, but his presence restores the structural integrity of the entire unit. And let's talk about the commitment the organization has shown to this warrior. On New Year's Day, while the rest of the world was recovering, the Rams were securing their future, signing Lake to a massive 3-year extension worth up to $42 million. Do you understand the gravity of that number? That is $14 million per year for a player who was a 6th-round pick just a few years ago. That is the ultimate validation of development, grit, and elite performance. It sends a message to the locker room. If you bleed for this team, if you lead this team, you will be paid like royalty. Wyatt Miller from TheRams.com hit the nail on the head when he called Lake a versatile chess piece. That is exactly what he is, a queen on the chessboard, able to move in any direction and strike with lethal precision. Before that elbow injury sidelined him, Lake was in the midst of a career year, playing primarily in the slot and acting as the glue for the entire secondary. His return stabilizes the communication on the back end, which has been chaotic in his absence. When we look at the tactical implications for Saturday's game against the Panthers, having Lake back allows defensive coordinator Chris Shula and head coach Sean McVay to open up the entire playbook. We can now disguise coverages effectively. We can run complex blitz packages involving the nickelback because we know Lake has the IQ to execute and the athleticism to recover. The Panthers are walking into a trap. They prepared for a defense that was leaking oil, but they are going to face a fully tuned, high-performance machine. The emotional lift of having a 2-time team captain back on the field cannot be quantified by analytics. It is spiritual. It is the Sharon effect, ferrying souls to the underworld, or in this case, sending opposing offenses to the offseason. The activation officially marks the end of a 7-game hiatus that felt like an eternity. We survived the storm, we weathered the injuries, and now, with the stakes at their absolute highest, the captain has returned to steer the ship. This is the type of narrative arc that wins Super Bowls, from IR to the extension, from the extension to the playoffs. It is written in the stars, and Quentin Lake is the author of this next chapter. The anticipation is suffocating. The excitement is palpable. The Rams are not just participating in the playoffs. With Lake back, we are hunting. But the roster moves didn't stop there, and the chess match continues with other significant adjustments that we need to dissect with surgical precision.
The machinery of an NFL roster never sleeps, and while the return of Quentin Lake is the headline that screams from the mountaintops, the subtle maneuvers beneath the surface are what win championships. The Rams are not just relying on star power, they are fortifying the trenches and securing the depth required for a brutal postseason run. In a corresponding move that brings championship pedigree to our locker room, the Rams have signed veteran linebacker Ben Neiman to the practice squad. This is a move of pure intellect. Neiman isn't just a body, he is a warrior with a Super Bowl ring from his time with the Kansas City Chiefs. He has seen the mountaintop. He knows the pressure, the heat, and the intensity of January football. Having played for the Jets, Cardinals, Broncos, Lions, and Titans, Neiman brings a wealth of diverse system knowledge. He is a mercenary of the highest order, ready to step in and execute if called upon. In the playoffs, experience is the currency that matters most, and Neiman is a rich man in that regard. However, the gods of football demand a sacrifice for every blessing, and the news regarding linebacker Sean Dolak is a jagged pill to swallow. The visceral reality of this sport is pain, and Dolak has been placed on injured reserve with a PCL injury. Head coach Sean McVay, the general of our army, confirmed the injury during his press conference, and the uncertainty surrounding potential surgery looms like a dark cloud. Dolak, a UDFA who fought tooth and nail to earn his spot, represents the heart of this team, the underdogs who rise. To see his season end this way is tragic, but it is the brutal nature of the beast. The PCL is a tricky ligament. It stabilizes the knee against posterior forces, and playing through it is often impossible for a linebacker who needs explosive driving power. We pour one out for Dolak, a soldier who fell in the line of duty, but the mission must continue. We also saw the churning of the practice squad, a relentless cycle of survival. Rookie safety Nate Valkersel was terminated to make room for Neiman. Valkersel, another undrafted hopeful, leaves without a regular season snap, a reminder of how thin the margins are in this league. Similarly, the Rams shuffled the deck by signing veteran defensive end Larrell Murchison and cutting defensive back Alex Johnson. Murchison is a familiar face, a fifth-round pick who has bounced between the active roster and the squad. This familiarity is crucial. You cannot teach a new language in a week. You bring back the soldiers who know the codes, the cause, and the culture. With Lake back, the secondary stabilizes, allowing the team to part ways with Johnson and Valkersel, proving that every move is interconnected in a grand web of strategy. But let's pivot to the glimmer of hope amidst the injuries. Jordan Whittington, the rookie wide receiver who has flashed potential, also suffered a knee injury, but McVay's tone was different, optimistic. In the cryptic language of NFL coaches, optimisticity is gold. If Whittington can suit up, it gives the offense another dimension, another weapon to stretch the field against Carolina. This is the chess match McVay is playing. He is assembling his pieces, managing the casualties, and preparing for the ultimate showdown. The wildcard game against the Carolina Panthers is not just a game, it is the first step of a gauntlet. The expectations are insanely high. With the defense no longer in the bottom 3 metrics thanks to Lake's return, and the depth bolstered by veterans like Neiman, the excuse explicitly evaporates. There are no more excuses. The shield is restored. The narrative is set. The stage is the postseason. The protagonist is a rejuvenated Rams team led by a returning captain with a fresh $42 million contract. The script could not be written better if I wrote it myself. We are witnessing the convergence of financial commitment, tactical brilliance, and the sheer will to win. The dark days of the mid-season defensive struggles are behind us. The abyss has been crossed. Now we look forward to Saturday with blood in our eyes and fire in our hearts. The Carolina Panthers are coming to our house, and they are about to find out that the Rams are whole again. Quentin Lake is back. The defense is locked and loaded. This is not just news. This is a prophecy of dominance. Get ready, Rams Nation, because the real season begins now. We do not retreat. We do not surrender. We attack. Rams House.